Sometimes what we plan to come in a sequential manner and in a timely manner doesn't happen for various reasons. We had tried to bring our World Cup episodes in time, but for various reasons, professional as well as personal, this has not been possible. The final episode where we had gone through the entire World Cup final and its aftermath in a 1 hour session, we could not present in time. So now we almost after 3 weeks from that time from that World Cup, we are now putting it out. It's a 1 hour session, almost an hour session. So we have divided it into two halves. In this first half, we will get to hear about the pre-match conditions, some of the deciding factors in the match, and also some of the statistical situations that came up after the match. In the second portion, we will be hearing about the post-match shenanigans, Lionel Messi's legacy, and are Argentina really poor winners as well as poor losers? Please check this out, both the episodes of this 30 minutes kind of a section. I hope you'll like it. Let's now focus on the post match. Let's talk about it in a very candid way. I'm going to give you a blow by blow, how it transpired. At least now that I have seen several things from different angle, I want to talk about that. Full-time whistle goes after the extra time. Spain are crowned champions. Players from both teams drop to the ground in celebration or in heartbreak. Um, Spain's Oyarzabal and Rodri sprints past Argentina's Nahuel Molina after the whistle. Molina appears to swing at Rodri, which stops the Spain captain in his tracks. He turns and approaches Molina shouting. Molina squares up to Rodri and bumps him in the chest. That is the flashpoint. That triggers Eric Garcia to step in. Now, Leandro Paredes, who came in as a substitute, booked during the match and fortunate to not have seen a second yellow clearly, flies towards Garcia and jabs him in the throat and charges at him, grabbing him by the neck. Scaloni, Argentine manager, rushes over, wagging his finger, trying to separate Paredes from the Spanish players. Paredes then wrestles Gabby to the ground and pushing into his face while holding him by his substitute bib. Scaloni pulls Paredes off, but the number 5 pushes more Spanish players before a teammate physically drags him back. In a separate strand of that same melee, the Argentine assistant coach, Daniel Ayala, he strikes or appears to strike Dani Olmo. Officials show Paredes is shown a straight red card at that point in time, which is Argentina's second dismissal of the night after Enzo Fernandez. But that red card is nowhere to be seen in the match reports anywhere. BBC and most other confirmed that there was a red card shown, direct red card shown to Leandro Paredes. But we do not have the visual. We do not know whether such a red card was shown. Very reputed, news channels then, some completely go silent. We do not know what has happened. There were other moments during this, like we saw Yamal and Messi share a warm embrace. Several other players greeted each other normally. So it's not like everybody was in that brawl. And then the damning part. I mean, this brawl was just one part of it. Then the aftermath of this, Spain are crowned champions. They're given the World Cup. Donald Trump refuses to leave. And Argentines players, each and every one of them, including their captain Lionel Messi, turns their backs during this Spanish trophy lift and medal ceremony. This, remember, The point when Argentine players went to collect their medals, it was the Spanish players had given a guard of honor to every one of them. Congratulations, or no clapping of the winners winning that. The next day, that is 20th July, FIFA confirmed a disciplinary committee had been appointed, a prosecutor to investigate this on-pitch, altercation. How do you see this entire thing? I mean, this is a huge story in itself. Forget that it happened after the biggest match of the tournament.
I mean, see, sometimes there are matches which are hard fought with aggression on the pitch, but to carry that aggression over after the whistle, that is something that says that the people were or the players were too desperate and too pumped up. I mean, that is the only thing, because these players, I mean, individually, if you look at them, so many of them have played in various clubs in Europe. They've played in the Champions League. They've played important matches throughout their careers. We cannot probably say that it is something wrong with the players individually. It is as a collective when they came together as Argentina, especially in this tournament. It happened in 2022 as well, but uh, especially that match against Netherlands that you mentioned. Even some of the uh, not the post-match celebrations on the field, but post-match celebrations off the field after the win against France, where they chanted some inflammatory
That happened after
songs.
the Copa America win in 2025. Yeah.
The World Cup, they used to carry that small what to say, that small soft toy representing Mbappe to the celebrations. It was unsavory, but yeah, I mean, it has been there, but this time it was a consistent thing. If you look at the entire tournament, Argentina players were too pumped up throughout. So their celebrations against England, their celebrations against Egypt when Romero was pumping his fist in the front of Salah, then against England after their goal, uh, Romero went and almost it looked like he's going to get physical with Jordan Pickford, and then Enzo Fernandez's celebration, and then the overall rough play. I think when they came together as a team, especially in this tournament, somewhere that aggression boiled over. And I mean, people are saying that Scaloni is a gentleman. He came to control the players. He did this, that. He tried to pull people away. But that he is doing after the fact. I think it is. I mean, see, a flashpoint can happen in a match, in a moment you can get carried away and do something. But if multiple players in a team are consistently crossing that limit of aggression, which is normally accepted in a even in a body contact sport like football, you have to point fingers at the manager. You have to ask him why was he not able to control them. This one was something that happened just in the final. It was, I mean, if you look at the entire tournament, it is just a culmination of what happened throughout the tournament in games involving Argentina, especially those high stakes knockout games. So, what was Scaloni doing? I mean, people should ask more questions of him. That is for sure. He has to
Interest,
control the play.
Interesting you bring Scaloni up. Let me ask you a very, very direct question. What does this tell you about the leadership quality of Lionel Messi when he is seeing that his teammates, after losing such a final in such a manner, after such a performance, is brawling with these other players? When is at
It
least
is
his
like,
manager,
see,
at least the manager went there to get them out. What was Messi doing?
Messi was too consumed in his own defeat. I mean, that is what I'm saying. It is like this Argentina team was playing for Messi. Argentina team success was Messi's success. Failure was Messi's failure. It was all about Messi. We normally say that Cristiano Ronaldo is an egotist, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, Messi was too consumed in his own disappointment that that his teammates were brawling in front of him, and he didn't even try to go there and intervene. I mean, he was too consumed by his. I mean, and that is not how a captain should be. I mean, even if you are the greatest player in the world, you are the greatest player of in history, ultimately you are also part of the team, and as a captain, you are leading the team. You are responsible for how the team is behaving on the field. And
A lot of people are saying this thing that Messi was not in the brawl. He was not fighting with these people, but you're part of the team. You were part of Argentina. You're not blind. Rodri, the
there,
captain, was part of that entire
there
thing.
are clear video clips where he sees what is happening. It's not like he wasn't aware. We cannot say that. There are video clips which very clearly show that he was completely aware of what was happening. It was happening in front of his eyes.
Otamendi was accusing Rodri that you should be keeping these people in check. It was not a brawl. So the entire attitude of Argentina was at that point, after getting completely whitewashed, even though they did not lose by a heavy margin, they had a zero chance in hell of winning that match. That they won because Spanish people cried, Spanish footballers cried, and the referee gave them, some chances, which is completely, I mean, like anybody who watched it, and
Yeah,
I mean, for
and this victim mentality. I mean, it's absurd because if you look at the game, I mean, what happened was that there was a goal disallowed, which I mean, nobody could actually make out why it was disallowed, right? That apparent foul on Otamendi. I don't think even Otamendi knows what the
no,
foul was. It was
automatically
disallowed.
struck.
It's really, I mean, you cannot say that in any way the referee got influenced by anything by Spanish players complaining about or pointing out refereeing biases before the match. I mean, it was completely the opposite. I mean, probably uh, as you said, Paradise and even your what is his name, McAllister, should may have even got themselves got red cards during the match. It was not given. So I don't know where this is coming from. That the referee was lenient towards Spain. It was just the other way around. I mean, there were a lot of decisions that went Argentina's way.
Yeah, I mean, there is a reason that there have been only 6 red cards in the entire history of World Cup football finals, and half of them have been given to Argentina. Two in 1990 and one in 2026. There is a reason. So it's not like an accident that the referee has been, biased against Argentina. I wanted to now come to the other topic, which is the Falkland banner. And I think in after the semi-final match, there was this entire episode where Lo Celso took a banner from the crowd and he held it aloft with Lisandro Martinez, Christian Romero, and Otamendi, which said "La Malvina son Argentinas." Yeah, and which basically says that that the Falkland Island is ours. Now, this is strictly against FIFA's actual statute, which says that no player or um, once associated with the team should make any statement regarding politics, gender, race, or anything regarding that. So there is a strict thing. Not only that, this same Argentine team had put on the same stunt back in 2022. At that point of time, they were only fined. FIFA had fined them. After the 2026 semi-final win versus Argentina, as versus England, they again put that out. And then the UK government urged FIFA to investigate. Keir Starmer, who is no longer the prime minister, his spokesperson, pointed it out specifically in the to UEFA, and then UEFA sent it to FIFA. So there are a whole lot of things that are brewing in against this Argentine team from both the semi-final and the final. That mysterious red card, why did it disappear? I think you have also seen that so many other teams, other channels have showed, I have published that there was a straight red card to Paredes, but we do not see that anywhere in the official report. Why did that
Yes.
disappear?
In fact, probably I don't think Paradise is actually important enough to to have that red card wiped off under by underhand means by FIFA. Maybe if it was Messi or somebody, we could have probably thought that okay, there's something fishy going on in there. Paradise, I don't think is important enough to actually warrant that kind of attention from FIFA. So maybe it was something that just didn't get recorded. They showed it, they forgot to record it, and then what probably happened was that since it was not in the match report, FIFA probably tried to brush it under the carpet because otherwise it would have actually again created a talking point of their own incompetence. So, as we have seen, it happens in all walks of life. People in positions of power they try to brush instances of incompetence, their own incompetence, under the carpet. Probably it was something like that. But the political banner. So even I don't know. I mean, it is clearly against regulations now. Why they were allowed to get away with it, I really have no idea. And even in the I think the same tournament, some other team was not allowed to display a political message, right?
Yeah, there have been always this strict, clamp down on anything that is political in nature. You cannot show a lot of things. Now there are two theories, conflicting theories. I'll give you both theory, and then you tell me which is the more appropriate. First theory is like you said that FIFA thinks that this was a they bungled basically this World Cup 2026 World Cup. They bungled at many levels, so this was one more bungling, and then they try to show it off. But the other one is even more serious. That serious one says that if you had given a red card, which whether it was in the match or just after the match, the maximum punishment for a red card for violent conduct could be 2 to 3 matches. Right? This was a violent conduct. However, now that there is a FIFA investigation underway, if FIFA does want to go in a proper way and like want to rectify some of their mistakes, then this violent conduct should earn something like a 7 or 8 match ban. Mauro Tossotti, when VAR was not there at all, was banned for 8 matches after the 1994 quarterfinals because of an elbow in that match. That was the last time Mauro Tassotti, one of the greatest Italian defenders of all time, played for Italy. Now, of course, that is assuming a whole new thing, that FIFA suddenly has a spine, that they want to put such a behavior firmly in check, that they want to show that what Argentina was doing was against the rule.
Uh, I think that FIFA just wanted to. I mean, at least that the finals one. I think FIFA probably didn't record that red card and tried to brush it under the carpet. I would go with that. And the Malvinas one. I mean, Malvinas or Falkland, whatever you call it. I think it's like again the same thing, right? You have some restrictions, but then, hey, this is Argentina. The next game is the final. If we sanction them, it will be a huge controversy. So now I think other teams will start displaying banners and then say that then why not us? And I think FIFA has painted them into a corner.
Obviously, a lot of Arabian nations can come back and say that, or Middle East nations can come back and say, look, I can also talk about Israel. You cannot stop me.
Oh.
So that's now there. Um,
Second thing, one interesting thing, and another perspective also I have here. I don't know how really important is actually Falkland to the current generation of Argentinians, right? It happened, it's something that happened more than 40 years ago. I mean, after the game, actually, Emi Martinez was asked about that, and he said that I don't really have an opinion on that. It happened before even I was born. So, again, I think this comes back to that same thing again, right? I mean, stirring up emotions, I mean, probably consciously by the manager, by the team management. I mean, these are probably not something that even Argentinians care about that much. But yeah, when you put up that flag and make it a us versus them narrative, then suddenly people start caring and becomes a big thing. So again, I think it is consciously introduced to generate that feeling of patriotism, nationalism, that extreme nationalism, which they thought that it will help them in their
why do you think that Argentina doesn't inspire, some kind of a universal acclaim for their wins. Like we discussed, they are the most, um, statistically speaking, they have reached 5 finals in the last 40 years. So statistically speaking, they are probably the most successful team. But outside of Argentina and the pocket of fans in certain parts of certain countries, we hardly see a neutral gravitating towards Argentina. The scintillating play that we saw when Maradona was at his peak, or maybe when Messi was at his peak, let's say in 2014, those are missing in 2022 or 2026. Both the final runs were without any kind of scintillating play. Even 2006, if you remember, Argentina went out, but they had amazing gameplay. We all remember that goal that they scored after 17 passes. We all remember that if Riquelme had not been taken off in that match against Germany, probably they would have won. So those Argentine teams actually had more to offer on the ground. But now that they're winning, is it the case? I mean, and I have seen a lot of things. That is it the case that when a team starts winning or being successful, that they create a lot of fan base which kind of tries to undermine them, because that is usually what happens when one team dominates? Or is it something about the way that Argentina tries to show that they are the best, which clearly in the neutrals eyes they are not?
See, in the 2022 World Cup, actually, a lot of us actually thought that was going to be Messi's last World Cup. I mean, very few people expected him to again play at the age of 39 and play every game and become the centerpiece of the team. So at that time, I think there was a lot of goodwill towards that. So if you think about it, there were matches like the match against Holland, where again it's the same thing, right? I mean, if you ask Argentinian fans, they will say that Louis van Gaal said certain things before the game which made the atmosphere combustible. But ultimately, it's like how you conduct yourself on the field is up to the players and the management, and they have to take responsibility for that. But at that time, there was not such a backlash. I mean, now actually people are looking at those videos and saying that we cannot believe that this was allowed to go through. It was let go without any sanction, without any criticism even. But at that time there was no backlash. There was a huge goodwill towards us. But I think this time, even at the start of the tournament, I think that goodwill was still there. People were thinking that let Messi have another successful tournament and become undoubtedly the greatest player of history. But somewhere along the line, with the rough play that many Argentinian players were getting involved in, parades and all, at some point people I think became fatigued with this team which was supposed to be a fairy tale team, but it was behaving completely opposite to that. At some point I think it flipped that, I mean, we don't want to support this team. And at that point I think that the final what happened was almost everybody was supporting Spain, apart from obviously people from Argentina, and as you said, some pockets of fan bases who are more, I think, inclined towards Argentina than probably their own country. Even then, I think those fan bases from India, Bangladesh, you can call them Argentines in some sense,
So that
because
that
I
is
mean they
fine.
probably even
The
national anthem by heart and probably stand up when the national anthem is being played. But apart from that, people who are kind of neutral, who don't have anything at stake. I mean, other than the Spanish, people from say England, USA, France, it was not their team. But I think overwhelmingly the sentiment went
no,
against Argentina.
no, the thing about Argentina, why people gravitated towards Argentina was because Argentina was an underdog. In 86, Argentina was an underdog. There was this concept that they have the greatest player of all time, which is Diego Maradona, and they are an underdog team. And he played the way that, that this could go on. This time round, they are no longer that underdog, won so many trophies, and every time they have won it, they've won it by very dubious means. And if they were humble in their attitude, like for example, 1998, everybody was supporting Brazil. Everybody, right? Except for the French, nobody was supporting France. France won it, but France was not like putting everybody down into the ground, rubbing their noses the wrong way. People gravitated towards Zidane, saying that, look, what a great player he is. So 1998 was a huge upset. 2006 was a huge upset. Italy was not supposed to win that World Cup, but Italy won it. Now, the way that Argentina has probably behaved, that their players have collectively behaved after 2022. You mentioned the Copa America, the chants that they have done, the Falkland, thing that they have done, and now the way that they have progressed, they have not played champagne football. Even their supporters are supporting them because they have put their neck on the line, saying that I am a supporter of Argentina. So they're like, I mean, I have to support them. That's
That
about
is true, sir.
that's about it. They're not supporting them because Argentina is playing vintage football, because Messi is playing vintage football. That's not the case. The only time Argentina played that vintage football, they did not win. Back in 2006, they did not win. The neutrals have gravitated away from Argentina. Okay. We finished the World Cup with Europeans still at the top of goal scoring list. Miroslav Klose to Kylian Mbappe.
I mean, it was always going to be Mbappe. His final tally will be difficult to beat.
Okay. Thank you, Shomojit. Thank you. If you like this episode, please like the channel and subscribe to the channel and hype this video up. Thank you.